oh, go get a Gino, go get a Marcus Mariota. It's like, even if you get that, even if you go that route, you still need a quarterback for the next 10 years.
You know what you are? You're the fucking Detroit Lions.
25 lighters on the dresser, bad bitch Vanessa, yes or no key, just pressing. My lane is reckless, or strong, they can feel the presence. Wheel and deal, they can feel the pressure. Fashion over Bay like the dresser. Got some issues, I wouldn't press it. Y'all crash dummy shit, don't impress it.
What up, YouTube? It's Bayou
I have
City
a ride.
Boys. Last episode of 2022.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, it is.
You're
Unless
gonna
we
miss
decide to
us.
do like a surprise thing.
Yeah, well, that might happen. You never know with us because we got a few more days. Maybe see us for a live or something.
Plus, I got to
Ooh, I see Davis Mills talking to the media about why it's good to use two quarterbacks right now.
Because they both suck to do it by themselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bro, I don't have any stock in that win, like offensively against the Titans.
Why the fuck did they do that?
Because the Titans suck that bad this week. I mean, we had the best quarterback on the field. That's why that would happen.
Hell yeah, both of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and our defense played good. And I just want to say, I told y'all Derrick Henry wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
Your boy out for probably the rest of the year. Sorry, Texans fans. Hey.
Sorry, Zach.
Oh
man, it's funny because I didn't watch most of the game. I was sick, so I kind of was just sleeping on and off. But when I did wake up, I was like, oh, then they actually won. And my two friends that are Jaguar fans were like, oh, thank you. And then, of course, my friends on my football group that were Chicago fans were like, oh, thank you for giving us the first pick. And I'm like, it's not over yet. Like,
it's not over yet. Oh, I think we possibly could get one more win, though. I think we might accidentally beat the Colts, too.
Yeah, they're you don't think we can Saturday can beat us?
I mean, they're fucking more beat up than we are. How are they going to beat us?
That's
true.
Yeah,
they don't got T.Y. no more.
The Jaguars are playing too good, and they owe us an ass whooping. So I have a feeling they're going to fuck us up on Saturday or this weekend. Like, for real.
No,
so that's the L. And they're rolling. Damn it. Quit showing us your crotch, you pervert.
I'm sorry.
Keep it PG.
Yeah. But you could accidentally beat the freaking Colts.
Yeah. I mean, the
Bears. We almost beat them.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is
Taylor right now, they're down on fucking quarterbacks and shit. Like, yeah, we could probably accidentally beat them, like you said.
Yeah. The good thing, I guess, for us is even if they do get the first pick, they're not going quarterback. I mean, they're probably going to get defensive player and more than 99% sure we're going quarterback. All mock drafts have us getting Bryce Young, unless you ask Texans fans, which are saying that we are dumb for going after the next Kyle Anderson or Kyler. What was his name from fucking Arizona?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that guy.
Anybody who thinks that those two are the same are retarded as fuck. They are not the same. With the ball on the break, he'll be in the top half of the league. He's that good. Like, he's not. I don't feel like he's going to come out of the league into the league being like the rest of the Alabama quarterbacks. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think that he does shit that Pat Mahomes does. Like, he played LSU. They went to the overtime, but there was a play where the play broke down. The receiver ran a crossing route across the end zone. He pump faked the defender. The defender got up. He stuck his hand around the defender and just threw that bitch. The receiver gave up on it and got picked. But it was like, who else does that?
Yeah, that's a little Giants play right there. That's the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Now, to your Chicago Bears shit, that makes me nervous is if they do get the first pick, who's to say they won't trade that pick?
True.
I'm just saying, you gotta. No, I'm not fucking trading all my shit to move up one spot. But it makes me nervous that you could have a team like the Colts at 5 or the Panthers at 5 or 6 or somewhere there to say, We will get there.
The Raiders are also in talks about going after a quarterback now after their debacle. So it is something to look at for sure. Hopefully, Jaguars, you run the ball on us, use all your
I
running
saw
backs.
I saw two things about the Raiders though. They said they're possibly looking to draft a quarterback, and stupid fake news about Aaron Rodgers possibly going there.
They might try to trade for him.
I'm just
Yeah, I
saying
don't-
to say they don't.
Hmm.
They spend money.
Yeah, I know.
My question is who's the problem? The quarterback or the coach?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
¿Por qué no los dos?
Because
going
the
back
Raiders
to
did so good last year.
I know.
They really did, and this year they.
The problem is Devonta Adams.
You figured getting him would make them better.
I know, but it didn't.
But McDaniels come over with that same bullshit Patriots offense that don't fucking work, and you're not set up to play that way. I think they need another coach.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of coaches that there is belief that this is the year Eric Bieniemy gets a head coaching job.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. We did good against the Cowboys. We did good against the Chiefs. We beat the Titans, and we'll probably beat the Colts. Does recency bias keep Lovie Smith's job?
Damn.
I don't see why not, but would you be okay with it? There we go.
Barring the fact that we could completely build the rest of the coaching staff, I would be okay with it.
Okay.
Because like what do you do? Like nobody could come up with a reasonable idea of who the coach is going to be. And then two, let's just be honest. Who the fuck would want the job?
Yeah, I mean, if he stays, I have a little bit of confidence, at least in the defense, to do their job every game, because they've kind of done it where in the beginning of the season they would show up for like 3, and then the 4th they would just disappear, and then now you're seeing it like a whole game kind of thing. And so if Pep, I need you gone. I need somebody that knows how to call some damn plays, not from a freaking Waffle House menu. But
Pep fucking sucks, bro.
Here's what I'm thinking, so we're not in this position again. So you bring in a really good, aggressive offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you develop that bond with the quarterback we get, hopefully Bryce Young, with the intent that if we play again next year and we suck really bad, fire Lovie in the middle of the year.
Ooh.
Promote that OC to head coach and see what he can do. Then when the next year starts, then you can literally fire everybody and start over, or you might have a head coach there.
You got your starting quarterback, you got weapons on the offense and defense. I mean, I think we all know next year you're not going to build a team and then be in the playoffs competing. You may be.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
You may be competing for the division, the way our division looks right now. But, I mean, that being said.
The thing about Houston is it's like, you know what the Texans remind me of? It's Brooklyn, the Nets. It's never just about the sport. It's all the other bullshit. You hear everything like, should we fire this coach? Is it a bad look? 2 black coaches, 2 years of blah, blah. It's like, can't it just be about football? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you go that route where you advance an OC and see what he can do, then at that point, it could just be about football. We're not worried about like the negative looks on what the fuck we do.
I forgot who it was, but somebody had that exact same argument on quarterbacks. They were like, so-and-so was the best black quarterback. And he goes, I never thought of it that way. I thought of him as a quarterback because that's the way you're supposed to think of it about. He's like, don't think of it based off of race and all this type of shit, which is a good way to look at it. He was like, just think about it as it's a quarterback. He was like,
it's hard to do when you live in a city this big, though.
I know that. It's hard to do when you live in a city that's also like multicultural like us too.
But Caleb would tell you, I am not bashful, bro. I walk around the gym all the time asking black people, like, hey, if we fire Lovie, is it like a bad look? And none of them say no. I do, bro. It's like, because I want to know. I'm not going to get on here and spit stupid shit if that's not what the case. But people who know football, black, white, green, brown, whatever the fucking color is, like, no, y'all are being ran poorly. Y'all need new leadership.
Yeah.
So we, as people who actually watch Texans games, no, you probably could use a better coach. But then when you have the other half, like, no, it's because he's black. And then you have shitty ass other people like Herm Edwards going on to fucking and Andy Reid, and then like, oh, Lovie deserves another shot. It makes us look worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at national media. I mean, we know how we favor in national media. They hate us. We're always going to be one of the hated cities in national media, no matter what. I feel like at this point, you just have to stop caring what they think. I mean, the Colts did it when they hired somebody from freaking Amazon Prime, and then you have. I mean, we're gonna probably do it anyway. For me, it seems now that the city is kind of swaying more towards just give us great football.
It don't even have to be great. It just can't be that sloppy shit we played for 9 weeks in a row.
And I feel like no matter who the coach is, I mean, you have even Silas on the hot seat for the Rockets, and I feel like that's not even getting the same as the Lovie Smith thing is. It at this point, it can't be about race. It has to be about I have a young quarterback coming in who can run this offense and grow him into the quarterback for this league, for me to have a dynasty quarterback or a overall quarterback going forward. I mean,
let's just be honest. We've been around 20 years. If you tell me that I could get a quarterback this offseason that's going to be here for 10 years, I'll be so fucking grateful.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so sick of the turnover.
I thought about this the other day, and I know Zach's not really going to like it, but
probably not.
When the Roughnecks were, winning and everything, everybody kind of got a good taste of having a football team that's actually good and winning and shit. And I think everyone wants that to keep happening, but with the Texans, because that's the real football team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Of course. I'm going to fuck about the
because I know that, but I still see people at the gym wearing Roughnecks hats all the time. And they're like, that's the only team that mattered in football in Houston. And I'm like, not really, but
I'm not
I get
saying
your
you don't support it. Like, I'll support it because it's cool and the logo's dope or whatever, but you're not going to hear me brag about it. That's like me saying I dunked on a fucking midget. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Straight up.
I mean, the biggest thing for me, like when it comes to the Texans is I get I've been looking and I always hear from y'all too, like just stop looking on the internet sometimes because there's idiots.
Yeah.
But it's just the biggest thing, like where the Texans are at right now. A lot of it is their fault, of course, with Bill O'Brien and the owner. I mean, R.I.P. and Rick Smith. We've had a lot of Esterberry. We had a lot of negatives, right? And then it cleaned it up. They cleaned it up. They got rid of everything that you're mad at all this. Cool. We got rid of it all. Oh, we lost JJ. Well, dude's retiring, so it don't matter anymore. JJ, congrats. Enjoy retirement. Enjoy being a father.
He's what does he have? 5 fucking sacks since he left? Ooh, big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, he left by whatever. DeAndre is getting called steroid boy, so I don't even care at this point anymore. His team's not even in the playoffs, so I don't really care.
Same team.
So you can literally look at it as a clean slate for next year and be like, all right, we have Cap. We got a young quarterback coming in. We're going to have maybe a new staff. We have a GM that has money to play with. And we have a new owner. Dude literally went out there and just started cooking hot dogs for everybody. Just being like, hey, just come and hang out. He's trying at least. And he's staying out of the way. I don't want a Jerry Jones owner where he's like in the war room, like, hey, I'm about to draft you, even though the GM doesn't no, I don't want that shit.
But that's why I get pissed off when people are like, fire Caserio, because who are you going to put there? Literally, Cal just wants somebody to run the whole business. Just do everything, and I'm gonna sit back here and play Xbox and fiddle my fucking thumbs.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at the job too. I mean, Nick came in at a shitty point where there was nobody that really wanted the GM job. Really, it was 2 people that are on ESPN and NFL Live, and then it was Nick, and then it was 2 others. And it wasn't a job that you're like, ooh, I really want this job. I have no cap space. I have no quarterback. I have, a new owner. I don't have any staff. Let me get this job. But, I mean, he's made the most of what he was handed from Bill. And I feel like I'm not gonna say he's done an amazing job, but I will say he's built his Honda up drivable to get to work is what I'm gonna say, I guess.
Word.
Like
Yeah.
it's not the best on the street, but it gets him there and it's doing his
That's
job for
actually
them.
that's a really solid yeah.
Like I just feel like that's the best analogy for it. Like I'm not gonna beat him up for like stuff that he could have drafted, and I mean that's all done and gone. We got a new draft coming up in a few months. We got a new quarterback that if you're still we talked about this I think a week or two ago. If you're still arguing about the first pick, then you're screwed as a freaking organization. Like
Yeah, for sure.
you have all these experts, literally Mel Kiper and these guys literally just sit there their whole life and study young athletes and rank them on where they're they're not going to get them right 100% of the time, but like I mean, look at Zach Wilson. They didn't get that right for shit. But you get some people that you can tell, like, just the eye test alone, and then you see the competition they go up against. And
it's so fucking hard to play quarterback in the NFL. It really is.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is one of the best prospects I ever seen in my life. One of the best college players I ever seen. And look how long it took him to do good.
Yeah.
And he still struggles. He'll throw an interception.
But I mean, sometimes it takes people like a year or two to actually like figure it out in the NFL. Like it's hard for a rookie to come in and just be fucking amazing their rookie season. Because it's a completely different level in the NFL.
I mean, Justin Fields is barely doing anything in the NFL right now of talking about. And I'm not saying he's doing good, but I'm saying like of something of warrant of like, okay, he's showing upside a bit. I mean, I don't want him as my quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
No, but that's the thing is you're right. It's like it's a philosophical curve in a sense because like it matters what's important to you. Yeah. Do you want a team that looks good? Do you want a team that scores, or do you want a team that wins?
Yeah.
Like Justin,
I want the win.
Exactly. Herbert is one of the best looking quarterbacks on the world in the planet. Like he does his thing. He can't win.
Yeah, F you, Herbert. You lost my league.
So it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have all the pieces together.
Yeah.
So if people jump on the hype trains and it's just stupid to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I gotta go inside and get pumped with a needle.
Have fun, Caleb.
I will talk to y'all later.
Yes, sir. Yeah. For me,
but it also makes me wonder. Like, I kind of don't want to fire Lovie because he's that coach that stands up to Caserio.
Yeah. It's a yin and yang thing, like we've always talked about. It's that accountability. And honestly, I think that's the best thing for an organization to have accountability on both sides. Because they don't, technically, you can tell they don't get along at all on certain things. But they make it work for the organization standpoint of it. Like, here's the pieces I got you. You're going to make it fucking work. And he's like, all right, I'm going to make it work, but stay out of my damn room telling me how to do it. All right, cool. And they kind
of get off the headphones. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need you down here. And then kind of you do, but that's why you need a defensive coordinator who's going to stand up to Lovie. Like, no, bro, like, we need to play man. We need to blitz more. We need to do this. You know, this player is better positioned to be here. So it's just like a chain of command.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is everybody's like, fuck, we're only here for a year or two. Who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think next year for sure you go in, dissect the whole team, and all right, this is what we need, this is what we don't need. I think the young quarterback is for sure the top of your list. I mean, everybody has him there. I think focus now as a Texans fan, you go on to the 12th pick, I think we're at right now for Cleveland.
But I just want to see Caserio be fly with it. Like, if you want to be fly anywhere, be fly with the money. Like, Jeffrey, the other day, Lovie Smith, when we played the Titans, said Jeffrey Simmons, the inside D lineman for Tennessee, is the best defensive player we've seen all year. Like, he wrecks our shit, right?
Yeah.
He's a free agent. Go steal him from the Titans. See what if you want to fucking hate us, and I'm gonna give you a reason to do it.
And I feel like, I don't know why, I feel that Nick is in that position this year to do stuff like that because they're not going out there. Last year was different for me. It felt like the team was trying to find themselves. I mean, this year they still don't know who they are, but that defense and that signing of them, he's not afraid to go out and go sign people just to see if you're good, and then he'll cut you right off, and then like, hey, you suck, bro. Get out.
But he's really good at bringing in productive free agents on short deals. Like Jerry Hughes, like we pay you nothing to be our best pass rusher. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think you have to give him this offseason, see what he does with some money, see what he does with the draft. I mean, like we've said, our division is honestly a joke outside of the Jaguars. And I mean, we've seen Saxonville before, so I'll wait to see him.
I mean, they're not that good. It's just the rest of us are that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about them. They overpaid for 2 receivers, and then they have a young up-and-coming running back that folds sometimes. So,
but not only that, is like you spent the number 1 overall pick on Javon Walker, who's supposed to be an elite pass rusher, and you're not that good at rushing the passer. Your secondary's mid at best. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could have had Aiden Hutchinson, we wouldn't be. So they don't draft well. They have a lot of shit to prove too. We're fucking one competent ass person in our building away from being like a 500 team in our division. You know?
Well, that's what I get to is for some reason in the NFL, you have a Trevor Lawrence. Everything, all the problems are gone. And it's like we forgot about the other 52 people on the roster. What the hell? Like, cool and all. I mean, they beat this team.
But they brought a new coach in Peterson, and he's like, okay, it's a shit show, but let me see what I can do with this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I feel like for me, it's like, okay, like when they glorify, like, oh, they won the AFC South. Bro, you know how many times we did that? It didn't amount to shit. We would get to the playoffs, get demolished, and it didn't matter. It just was like, oh, okay, cool. It's a freaking participation ribbon. Like, it doesn't matter. And I mean, for standpoints of like, I guess where you're succeeding at, I guess it does. But I mean, if we're being honest, you look at the division, nobody had Jaguars at first. It was Titans and Colts facing each other off with 2 of the best running backs in the league. And these 2 teams have just decimated themselves on bad play and everything. And it opened the door for Jacksonville. I mean, let's be 100% honest. I don't have the freaking ESPN telling me what to say. That's just what it is. I mean, and the Texans beat the Titans. We almost beat the Colts. I mean, so it's to the point.
And those 2 teams suck because they built the same way. It's like y'all accident. Well, not so much Tennessee, but y'all got a good ass running back while y'all sucked, and then y'all rode that motherfucker as long as you could. And now your O-line suck. Y'all don't have receivers. Y'all don't have anybody to throw the ball. So you take those running backs off that team. They're just as bad as we are.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is actually really true on that.
That's why I'm telling you, Houston, Bryce Young, number 1, receiver with the 2nd pick. If Jordan Addison's there from USC, I want him first. The dude is such a good route runner. His hands are fucking amazing. Like, I just see it. You put Jordan Addison on a field with Michi. I don't know what Michi is, but I have a good feeling that he's going to be pretty good in this league. And you got Collins' big ass.
You give Michi and Bryce Young again that college connection. We've seen it already. Quarterbacks love their receivers that know where to go for them. It's their blanket, their bread and butter. It's just, I mean, you've seen it with slot receivers all the time. Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb, and you have other ones like Edelman with freaking Brady. Not saying that they're going to be that combo, but I'm saying you can see where those receivers are key to that quarterback, especially a young quarterback, when he knows, okay, I got to get it to somebody quick, and that guy's going to know exactly where I want to throw it at because I used to play with him all the time.
But that's what I'm telling you is if you go and watch tape on Bryce Young, like I've been doing for months now, and you know this, the dudes anticipate, like to throw receivers open and putting the ball in spots where the receiver should be, he's going to be elite at that in the NFL. And what more do you want? Especially when you play in a division where the secondaries ain't that good, except for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean that's actually true. Damn, I'm kind of hyped. I mean, if you're not a Bryce Young fan because of his height, then I just really don't.
But that's why it's important you bring in an offensive coordinator who could scheme around that. Well, let's do crossing routes. Shit, we could get the ball out of his hand faster. Let's not make him stand back there for fucking as long as he can and risk getting hit. No, get it. Take your 3, let that bitch rip. Take your 5, let it rip. You know what I mean? He's got the arm. Like he's he's the best quarterback in this draft to me. If he was fucking 3 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier, the whole world would be on his dick right now. So
I mean, we've seen height don't matter. I mean, Kenny Pickett and all these other guys. It's like,
but like, just as something I've been like observing from watching like a lot of tape on the quarterbacks, because I know that's what we need. Like you look at CJ Stroud, like you're big, but it doesn't help that you release the ball kind of on your side. Like you eliminate height from here. At least Bryce is here every time, you know?
Yeah,
so
it's the mechanics. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
You look at it in all sports, the mechanics are what you should pay attention to. I don't care about if I'm in basketball, if I'm 7 foot, but I bring the ball down here, then you just eliminated
Bryce Young's mechanics are so sound that when he does fuck up, it's obvious to people. Like, oh, he fucked up. Look at that. And they harp on it. And it's like, well, you notice one thing he did wrong because the other 99 plays were fucking damn near perfect, you know?
Yeah. And it's what you expect from great players is you expect perfection. So when he messes up, you magnify it. But when you get players that are going to fuck up.
Another point that I'm trying to make, and I'm not comparing apples to apples. I might be. It's just too early to tell. Look at Steph Curry. The whole world was like, he's too small. He can't play in this league. Fucking greatest point guard ever. You know?
Talent. There's talent, the mindset, the mechanics. All of it plays a part. And that's why when you get what I call sofa GMs, I just feel like sometimes they need to take a seat back. Like all this, oh man, we needed the number 1 pick has to be Will Anderson. For what?
In theory, it'd be great, but I mean, that's not what we need. You know, I mean, we do need it, but we need quarterback more.
Like you have to like look at what you need, and then it's like, and all this, go get a Geno, go get a Marcus Mariota. It's like, even if you get that, even if you go that route, you still need a quarterback for the next 10 years.
You know what you are? You're the fucking Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
You're a fucking mediocre offense with really good defense, and you hope that the other team don't play as good.
And I feel that's where, when it comes to sports fans in general, they're okay with being mediocre because they know nothing else. If we're in the talks on ESPN and NFL, then we made it. We're there. We can argue with other teams that we're decent enough to maybe win on a speck of hope. And it's just like, why not? You literally are in Houston where there's literally a freaking team that dominates everybody. Why are you okay with being mediocre? Like, we should.
And it's not only that, bro. Is you think about it, I agree with that 100%. It's not only that. It's like you look at teams like Kansas City and Buffalo and Cincinnati, and you're like, as schematically sound as those defenses are, and they're all pretty good, you never go into those games and be like, oh, how are we going to score on those defenses? It's like, fuck no. How are we going to stop Pat? How are we going to stop Josh? How are we going to stop Burrow? You know what I mean?
We talked about it last week. The league is changing. It's the wheels are going into offense. You look at all these things. Oh, how it's Mahomes versus Allen. What offense is going to outscore each other? You got teams scoring 51 freaking points on people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're over here talking about, defense. I don't care who you got out there on defense. They're going to get gassed. They're going to get tired. Somebody's going to get burnt on at one play.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw a ball and a dude catches the ball on 2 fingers up here, what the hell? I don't give a shit who you have on defense. Who the hell? What are you going to do?
That's what I've been saying for 2 weeks, bro. If you build an offense that puts up points, you will make the Colts and the Titans change the way they play. You're not running the ball on me 40 times because you can't score enough that way. Yeah,
and that's what you see in football is when those games where they're having to catch up, the run game gets depleted completely, and it's just straight throw. And if you can't throw, I mean, look at Tennessee. They don't have a freaking receiver at all, and they thought, we're gonna run and dominate. Yeah, good luck with that shit. You don't have anybody to catch the ball.
If the Texas fans were smart enough to realize that that's been our problem all year. Is like, it don't matter how good of a scheme you have around a mediocre quarterback or whatever. You're not doing that because we're so far behind all the time. You literally need Davis Mills to go out there and rip that bitch, and we don't have the talent and the know-how. So that's why he looks so bad.
Yeah, because you're expecting him to do it, and he don't know how to, and that's that you're just gonna falter.
It's like you compare him to Kirk Cousins, like you want him to go out there and rip this bitch all day long. But guess what? We don't have a Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
we don't have a Thielen. So what do you expect? You know?
Yeah, and that's why I feel a young quarterback that we know can go out there. He's done it before. He's been in competition, real competition. He's had one of the best college coaches, arguably, in teaching him. Yeah, and he's coming in as a young face of a franchise, which you freaking need. You need a face of a franchise, get you back into more money and more nationwide news. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be like, okay, how does he do? People want to see him. People are going to want to see him versus the number 2, the number 3 quarterback taken. They're going to see, the Alabama quarterback, him versus this guy, him versus. It already plays its part. He plays that part for you. You already have names on defense of Stingley and Petrie and whoever the hell you sign with the money you have. And
that's what I was about to say. Like, I strongly advocate the fact that you spend as much money as you can to shore up both sides of the line.
Yeah.
Like if you could get, if you say you don't get Jeffrey Simmons or Deron Payne or somebody like that, there's so many fucking defensive players who can go at 32. Like, get you an interior lineman to play next to Malik Collins. Sorry, fucker Roy Lopez, your fat ass ain't good enough. Heinisch, I like you. You're a good backup. Booker, I like you, but I might move you to end. And do that. Get you a real center. Get you a real right guard. Hope that Kenyon Green gets his shit together and protect that quarterback, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, Christian Harris, he played really well the past 2-3 games. It's like, okay, you got hurt early. You came in. You figured out how to play football. Henson came in, took the ball from Derrick Henry. You know, Blake Cashman, he's coming in, knocking balls, tipping balls. I've been saying it the whole year. It's like, when you suck, then you have to have energy. So use the energy that these young players want to use. You know, I would probably go get me another safety to play with Petrie, because sometimes I think Petrie, he gets tired and he tries to do too much. He misses tackles. So go get you a vet safety to play with Petrie.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think don't stay comfortable, I feel, this year. Go out and get you some quality vets now to help this young core of what you drafted coming in and just grow it. I mean, the environment and the organization change, you don't really hear about it as much in the national media anymore of it being a problem. So
I almost wish that our management people would stop listening to media, because the media is so dumb. And it's hard to say that since we're doing a video, but it's like, take for instance, like last year, offensive lineman, everybody's like, oh, the Texans, a lot of people take Evan Neal from Alabama, take the dude with the weird name that went to Carolina. They're so good, they're generational talent. And it's like, yeah, they're really good, but it's like y'all slept on Lindstrom, the center, the whole time. He falls to the second round. Baltimore takes him. They got a center for 10 years.
And I think that's where I want to say, like with Houston sports, take a page, and we can go on to the Astros on this one once we go. Take us a page from them. They stepped away from all national media. They literally only focus on local media. And if you don't got love for us, you don't get the news. Like, that was one of my biggest things I loved, like when Crane broke the news of Jose Abreu. He went and told legit a Houston native reporter, hey, we are signing Jose Abreu, and he broke it. And Jeff Pazon from ESPN was like, yo, what the hell? And he's like, y'all don't show love to us. Why am I going to give you my news when you've hated on us the whole time, and now you want us to give you that? Nah, that's not how it works, dog. Like,
plus, he been that way the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he bought the team, I don't remember what the beef was, but somebody said something to him that pissed him off. And all he said was, and this was probably 2013, 2014, when we changed to the AL, somebody said something. I don't remember what it was, but basically his response was like, this is how much I paid for the team. If you don't like it, they'll write me a check for this amount.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we got somebody in the building that they're throwing dick around, you know?
Yeah, you letting his nuts hang right day
Yep.
one. Yeah.
And a dynasty was formed. So
Yeah. And you need that. I mean, as an owner, you need an owner that is there verbally and not afraid of the media, because I'm a billionaire, dog. You ain't gonna just talk to me some type of way. But also where they're not in the ear of it. And I feel he's, even though it feels like with him, with not having a general manager, it feels like to some people he's in the ear of everybody, but he's really like, I have my money, use it if I'm telling you to use it, and I don't want to hear anything else about it. Like, I want to stay competitive. And I mean, we're not a big market, but we're not a small market. So you look at all the numbers being thrown around, and they've been ridiculous. I know we've had arguments on what it's been. I'm at to this point where I have to agree with you. I am glad we did not go and throw these damn numbers around, because these numbers are ridiculous.
Because the whole world is available to us at this point. We're not locked into nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine if we would have gave Correa that contract 2 years ago. All the injury shit. I just think everybody got cold feet on him now. They're like, I don't want to pay that fool that much money.
Yeah. I mean, now his contract with the Mets is 50-50 or 55% chance of being done. Now he's talking to other teams. It makes it to where your farm system that got depleted after the cheating scandal and all that stuff. And now you look at it now, and it's just like, you keep having young guys come in. Okay, veterans. Young guys and veterans, young guys and veterans, young guys and veterans. And I think that's been the perfect mixture, where it's like, for me, looking at, okay, we lost Correa last year, and we were like, oh, well, most of us were like, what's going to happen now? We need to sign a shortstop. And then Pena comes in, and now you hear Pena, and he's like, no, Correa was grooming me the whole year.
Yeah.
Telling me like, hey, this is going to be your spot whenever I leave. And you kind of look at it as in, this time around, it was Hunter Brown and Verlander, where he was grooming him the whole year, hey, taking him under his wing, like, hey, I'm going to probably be gone. Your time to shine type of stuff. And I look at it as like, breathe, Houston. Like,
but not only that, is like, unless you're like super savvy and understand what Click was doing, then you don't realize it's like, there people who are in the know say Click drafted kind of well. Like, there's 18, 19-year-old kids who just got drafted like a center fielder. Like, okay, he may be 3 or 4 years away, but when he gets to the show, the dude's gonna go. You know what I mean? So we're set up.
Yeah, and I think that's why, for sure, I'm not mad with them taking their time with getting a GM. I feel, don't rush it. I mean, you're pretty much set up for next year. Your assistant GMs and all that pretty much know the philosophy and what you were going for as building a team. So, I mean, of course, your biggest signing was Abreu, and then after that, it's been kind of just keeping your core of Rafael and
I am still strong in the fact, though, the way that they treated James Click, though, is a direct link to why we lost players. Like, Christian Vasquez had to look at that whole thing and be like, well, fuck, if they do that to Click, who's to say they won't do something like that to me? And because he went to Minnesota for nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, even at the winter meetings, there was a lot of people that were like, I mean, we're not the most liked organization. Let's just throw that out there. We already know that. But there was a lot of people that were like, yo, they're treating him kind of like shit. And you just won a World Series. And no matter your differences, he had a part of it. Houston, stop acting like he didn't have a part of it. And when you start seeing some of these young guys come up, I don't want to hear that was Jeff Luhn. No, that was Click's guy that he drafted.
When you fucking get an MVP out of Jordan for fucking pennies on the dollar, then Click did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you brought in Hector Neris. You brought in, like, all these guys that were in your bullpen were Clicks. So let's not sit here. I'm not going to sit here and shit on the dude's name like he didn't do anything. Stop. Like,
I'll be grateful for him. I'm grateful for him because, like you said, you just said it, bro. We won the World Series on pitching and mostly bullpen. He built it.
And that's where I feel like, when it comes to sports, be knowledgeable when you're arguing stuff. It's like, you may not like him. You may not want to be on Click's team. I'm not saying I'm on his team. Hey, you're not on my team no more. Hey, wish you the best, dog. Thank you for the World Series. Thank you for the draft picks. But I'm not gonna sit here and shit on your name and be like, oh man, you didn't do shit. We already had a team. No, that we didn't. I was like, we lost 2 years in a row pretty much before that. I was like, and he made some changes, and here we go. Yeah, the players play the game, but he had a point of it. Every little piece of the thread was made with a part of him being in it, and that's why I'm like, now we look
I
at.
think what it is like you have stupid people that, I mean, this is every city with a baseball team. They're like, they don't understand the difference between analytics and the eye test. Like some people think they would say, "Oh, he's an analytics guy." That they base every decision off of what the numbers say. Like, "Oh no, this is what it says. Oh, this is the next guy." And then then they think the eye test guys are just like, "Oh, we're just watching the game and we see things." I feel like Click was a guy who knew how to use analytics as a tool. Like this is going to lead me in the direction of my train of thought, and then I'm going to use my knowledge to make a decision. And that's what he did.
Yeah. You look at, okay, we'll go into, I wanted to talk about this, utility players. So he made a trade for Dubon, of course, last year. And, I mean, he didn't have the best year, but he had a semi-productive year, which now you look at it going into this season, that plays even bigger now because you lost Aletmus Diaz, Yuli Gurriel's up in the air. He's really your only utility player. So it honestly, in reality, it was one of those chess moves, I feel, where, all right, you may not help us a ton this year, but next year I may need you for another move. You're on the cheap, honestly. I got you for absolutely nothing, really. So it's those type of moves as a GM that I enjoy seeing.
Because we got him for nothing.
Yeah. And you got a whole year to see him. All right, now this is your year. I need you to step up a little bit more. All right, cool. You know the organization, you know the team, you know what it takes, you know the guys. Let's go.
But it's not only that, is there's very few people who watch as much Astros baseball as we did.
Yeah.
Defensively, there's not a bad thing to say about Mauricio Dubon. There really isn't. The little boy can't hit a ball to save his life. But when you have 7 people in your lineup who can fucking stroke it, I'm okay with you not being able to hit.
Yeah. I need you, if you pick it up on defense right here, then I need these guys to pick it up on offense over here. And I mean, that's just on any sport. I mean, you're not going to get somebody that's sound on both sides. Hey, if you're a defensive monster on this side, hey, cool. And we do it before, like when Trey Mancini was struggling so bad on offense and came up with that beautiful defensive play, we were like, okay, I can forgive your offensive woes because you made it up right there in that spot. And it's just like that. Like I need y'all to pick up for him over here if he's going to pick it up for you. If he's going to go and do a split or grab an amazing catch, all right, one of y'all on offense, go and make it up for him. Go.
As we stand right, I'm perfectly fine with starting the season as we stand right now. I really am. Like, use Dubon as your outfield utility player. You can use him in the middle of the infield if you need to. I'm going to give Hensley run as a utility player on the infield because he earned it to me in the playoffs. I use Corey Lee as a backup catcher, and we're going to see what you 3 can do. If just depending on that, then you know what to do when the trade deadline comes.
Yeah, I think at this point now you're running with you're not signing any big names. All the big names are pretty much gone now. Don't waste money now. You can get maybe a good reliever here or there. Or I know there's 3 utilities that I saw we were linked to today. They're older. So I'm one of them was Josh Harrison, the 12-year vet from the White Sox.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I know he played every position over there except for catcher. So, I mean, somebody that they could look for on the cheap. Then another one was Donovan Solano, 35-year-old from the Reds, Silver Slugger in 2020. And then you had Hanser Alberto that played for the Dodgers last year.
I just don't want to make any trades for players because if something happens, say, God forbid somebody gets hurt and we have to do something drastic to make a trade, that's when we do it.
Yeah.
Like, say, for instance, like fucking, and this is a name that's been with me for a long time. You know this. Say, for instance, something happens to Maldi. It's like, fuck. We can't trust Corey. Guess what? I'm going to do everything in my power to go get Salvador Perez off Kansas City. All right, what's it going to take?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, leave your options open. Don't handcuff yourself, I feel.
Exactly.
And
That's what my point was the whole time. Is like, no, you make the league catch up to what you're doing, and then we change. Right when these motherfuckers think they have the answer, we change the question. You know what I mean?
You look at rotations right now, and coming off of the World Series win, we are getting no respect, which I didn't expect to anyway, and I love it because everybody's counting us out already. Oh, Astros lost Verlander. They don't even rank in the top 3 in rotations now. Everybody's on Yankees. Everybody's on Texas Rangers now. They got Evaldi and DeGrom. It's like amazing. Keep counting us out because that's what you've done every year. And our guys just show up, compete, play. And when the Rangers amazing rotate, for you to put Jake Odorizzi on the graphic and tell me that they have an amazing rotation, I can't listen to you for shit. Houston fans and Atlanta fans will laugh at you for that because they even admitted after that, like, yo, this dude's trash. Like, told you.
There's no doubt. There's teams in the AL that got better.
Oh, yeah.
The path isn't going to be easy. We're not thinking we're easy, but we know how good we are. Like we earn the right to say beat us.
Yeah.
You have a banner behind you that says beat us.
I mean, you told us, oh, y'all couldn't win without cheating. We did it.
Say something.
The excuse now? What's the excuse now? You have guys that are hungry. You have guys that are on the contract. You have young guys. I mean, you have literally, looking at our rotation, Framber Valdez arguably would have been one of our number 1 spotlights if Verlander wasn't here.
Yep.
I mean, then you have Christian Javier that got 2 no-hitters against the Yankees.
Dose.
And it's just like, and that's just those 2. Then you add in Lance. Maybe you have a different season. We'll see. Maybe it's different for you.
But let's not forget, bro, before this year, the whole city was hype on Luis.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So now we're delegating him to like the 4th or 5th position. It's like a year ago, this motherfucker was our second best pitcher, 2nd or 3rd going into the season, not knowing what Verlander was going to do.
And that's where I think there was that one game where he gave up it was like I forgot what game it was, and he gave up some hits, and everybody was like, oh man, it's over. But I'm like, it's gonna happen. If you have,
it's one of those.
You look at Verlander,
you knock him out of sync because he's so used to pitching every certain amount of time that he took him a minute to get his shit together. You know what I'm saying? And then you're still gonna be that way because you got Hunter Brown now.
Yeah. You went from 5-man rotation to 6-man rotation to 5-man rotation to 6. I was like, oh my gosh. And I feel you got Framber, Javier, Lance, Garcia, Urquidy, Hunter Brown, whatever order you want to put them in. But I mean, that lineup from an Astros fan, we've seen what they do against major league batters.
Dude, just go back to the 18-inning game. Luis Garcia pitched 5 no-hit, and he literally came in and said, okay, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to exhaust your bullpen. He ate their fucking bullpen a lot. They had no choice but to put Robbie Ray's sorry ass in there because they couldn't find anybody to match what Luis was doing.
Yep. And that's why I said, like, we're going to be good, Astro fan. Like, I know the confidence is high already, but we're good. We're good. You literally are overlooking how good Jose Abreu also is on offense with this freaking team. Like, I don't get how I'm all for pitching is amazing. I mean, you have to have pitching. We've proven that. But for me, it's like you look at offense. Look at the Philadelphia Phillies, what they did against everybody in the playoffs. That offense was dominating all the best pitchers. Oh, Musgrove and what's his name from freaking San Diego and all that. We now just added another dude that can knock this ball out of here at Minute Maid Park at that.
You actually added 2. Dude, you have Abreu and Brantley batting 6 and 7.
Yeah,
Who
I forget
has
about
that?
Brantley coming back. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I keep forgetting about Brantley. Theo,
And that's a
welcome back.
left-handed bat.
Yeah.
So that's gonna fuck things up for people who are like, oh, you got right-handed batters at the bottom. No, Brantley said he's at 7. What are you gonna do? Because he'll put that bitch in the second deck with no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't tripping. Let him talk. That's why I've been telling you, let him talk.
Yeah. I'm going to let everybody figure out what what we're doing wrong. That's cool with me.
Granted, the Yankees still probably a pretty good team.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle's a really good team.
Yeah. In our division, I have it as Seattle and then Rangers and then the others.
Oakland, yeah. Angels.
Yeah,
Fuck
Angels.
them.
I mean, they're always hurt anyway. And then, of course, the Yankees still have competition with the Blue Jays and all that stuff. So it's not like it's between us. Astros got to deal with Seattle and Rangers. Yankees have to deal with Blue Jays pretty much, and those pesky Orioles that seem to always beat them for some reason.
Don't trip. We got homegrown talent, easy transition. Yeah. The Rockets are doing the same thing. We're taking on the best talent we can, see who could do what, and we're keeping them and getting rid of the rest.
Speaking of the Rockets, I mean, looking at the game, I mean, of course, the last game was against Boston. It was just talent-wise, I feel like
it's the best team in basketball right now. The fourth quarter came, they knew what to do, and we didn't.
Yeah, I felt it was like you look at the game. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. Where the hell this dude? This is Kevin Porter from I feel last year before the season ended. Like comfortable, just out there hooping, having fun. Like dude's. I mean, there was a play he crossed. I think Jason Tatum up and just got him. I mean, the game
but
before that,
you could tell he's getting better because he's understanding matchups. Meaning, like, I'm okay. Like, we play Chicago. He's like, talent wise, we should be able to beat y'all's guards, and he fucking put up 36.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He goes in yesterday, and he's like, okay, you could doubt us if you want, but you're gonna match my energy and effort. And he had a really good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with Jalen. Like, third quarter, Jalen went the fuck off yesterday.
Yeah. No, Jalen has been in his first 100 games. I mean, he's been putting up numbers in his first 100 games, and only Luka Doncic has put up, Damian Lillard, and Anthony Edwards. Those are the only 3 that ever put it up in the 100 games with him. And numbers don't lie completely all the time. And so you got to give him his credit. And you see him this year of just the certain plays he's doing, his step backs, they seem more pure. They just seem like last year I felt like when he was rushing stuff, this year it's so smooth. Like you'll see it reminds me of like those old kung fu movies where like it's slow-mos and you see the move going, because like he just does like a move and he'll just step back and gradually just
it's because he jumps from him and Kenyon Martin, they jump from so far away from the rim. It's like people think you're still gonna guard him for another step or two, and he's like, nope, we're going up. Let's go up. Let's go up.
Their athleticism is just crazy. And I mean, between Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, like they're taking steps now. I feel now what we're seeing of growth and seeing, okay, this is where their game's going now, advancing a bit. And you see it. I mean, you'll hear it every week now of players talking about how, oh, these guys are ballers. These guys are their future. Like they're going to go with them. And I mean, Kevin Porter was a guy that fans really were just like, why do we have him here? We get him out, like just leave him, release him. I'm done with him. And it's just like, I mean, let's be real, dog. Like you got other players.
What are you gonna do to replace him? Don't get me wrong, Ty is ball. Like Ty's not having monster numbers, but you could look. Anybody who knows fucking NBA basketball could look at Ty and say he belongs in this league and he's gonna be here for a while.
He had his best game against Boston. I feel he had 40%, I think, shooting from threes, and then his assist to turnover ratio. If you pay attention to how he is on the floor when he's doing these plays that you'll see from like top like second point guards to almost all-star point guards, where they do these pat, they draw in the defender and then he just knows exactly where his guy's
shoot
at.
That Tari shoot that, Jabari shoot that,
and it would be even more if, of course, Gordon and Atari and them were making a lot more of their shots. Atari's doing a little better, but for me, it's like you're seeing. We've said it last time. These draft picks that have been Rafael Stone's gotten, and they're all starting to bloom a bit more. I mean, they're all starting to form into a way that where he drafted these guys. Okay, this is exactly what you're gonna do. Garuba's 3-and-D type of thing, and Ty is just becoming what you needed. You needed somebody in for that second one. Thank you that I don't have to see Knicks anymore on the freaking.
Yeah, but it pisses me off, bro, because we talked about this on chat the other day. We play too many people.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being completely honest, Garrison Matthews does shit that looks cool. He helps the team a little bit with energy and defense, but it's like you came in last night and gave up a lead because they attacked you.
Yeah.
Like, where's Josh Christopher? Like, because when you're on that lineup, we need offense, and Christopher could go get his own bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. I still feel that there's still too many bodies being played, and I agree with you on that. I do feel that I'm not rushing for trades, but I do want trades at some point to come in because I want these young guys, as we see now, them playing real games as a group. You're growing that group, and you've seen a lot of teams do that where it's like, all right, we're going to build this nucleus up and then see what works, and if you don't work, I'm gonna ship you off. And I feel after Christmas was that point where you're gonna get a lot of the trades. So I do think we've said it, Eric Gordon, you're gonna get traded at some point. Garrison Matthews, you're probably getting traded at some point.
The only player who could stay on this team and literally do nothing is Boban.
Yeah, Boban.
Boban's more of a mascot than clutch. But I can tell that Boban helps those younger dudes because, like, there's not really freaking bigs that give us problems because they're used to playing against that big ass dude, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and you see it. I mean, you see the plays in their practices of them going up against him and Jalen Green. That's where people were like, why did Green try to shoot over Bobo the other day? And I'm like, well, dude, he freaking shoots over Boban every day at practice. I'm sure he's like, all right, let me see if I can do it. I mean, and I'm not mad. What's the worst going to happen? The ball's going to get hit out of bounds and you get the ball back?
Like, for instance, let me tell you how I know that shit's working. Yesterday we played Boston. Tatum took Jabari off the dribble and he got the shot off, but Jabari almost blocked it. But I could tell that Tatum was like, fuck, I'm not doing that again because he's going to get to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't make that move again. So I was like, that just comes from learning how to play long, use your size, be big.
Yeah.
And I mean, who can honestly say they could go up with Tatum and defend a fucking jump? Not too many people.
No. With the athleticism and everything else, no, you're not going to.
But also it makes me excited because, like, I watch fucking a lot of NBA basketball, and then I'm just harp on a team like Memphis. Like, what Jaren Jackson Jr. does for that team, no other team in the West can do that. Like, he's just so big. He stretches the floor. He's the best two-way big, like, in the West as far as, like, just playing off the ball, playing defense, shooting the open three, doing that. And I'm in my mind, I look at that and I was like, Jabari's going to do that, but better.
Yeah. And Jabari is, I mean, as fans are talking about patience. Nobody is giving him love. I think we were the only ones probably that give him love for what he's doing. And dude's 19. He's getting overshadowed, of course, on his own team by Jalen Green, of course, Kevin Porter right now. And Şengün has been balling out his last few games also. So, yeah, there's only enough ball to go around. But the thing is, though, what's beautiful with him is I don't need offense to do what I do. I can go out there, guard your best player. I can go out there, disrupt them. I can go get rebounds. I can go get blocks. And you see the kind of like the love between the players right now. Like, even just a simple play, as in, like, when Kevin Porter was dribbling the ball and he's like, hey, give me it. I'll get the turnover, bro. Like, just give me the shit. And it's just like, okay, this is a team that's building a nucleus. Because we go from week one where you got two Bulldogs arguing with each other to now. And it's like, okay, now they know what they're doing. They know
opposed to like last night, Jabari threw a bad pass to Jalen. We get a backcourt violation, and then Jabari puts his head down, and he's like, "Fuck, my bad." And then Jalen's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going." You know, like we're doing right. Just keep fucking going. It was the right play. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and they're young, they're hungry. They keep saying it every week when they finally win. Like they're like, we're tired of losing. Like we're just tired of losing, and you want that. Like it's a different feeling than like with the Texans when they would be like, oh, we're just tired of losing. Nah, you could tell the Rockets were like pissed, like, and they're not mad at each other. They're mad at themselves. Like, damn, I messed up right here. Damn, I did. Like, because there's been a few games where they'll give up like 5 turnovers in a row on like a really good team, and they lose the game that way. And they know it. They're like, okay, that's on us. We messed up, and they're going in there asking their coaches, like, what did I do wrong? Like, what can I do? And you see
that's the benefit to Silas. That's why he still has a job. But also, it's like if you watch last night's game, you go to the fourth quarter. I think they were up by 7. No, at halftime they were up by 7, and they said it. They're like, the difference in this game is Boston is up 7 points in points off turnovers. So that's the only thing. And when we come out in the third quarter, all we did was take the ball at the rim. It's like, all right, you can't turn it over doing this a bunch. And we caught up.
Yeah. Yeah. There's speaking of Silas, I know that there's still the fire Silas all over the internet. And there's
not
moments.
Now. Not right now.
There's moments where I'm like, I'll sit there and I'm like, all right, Sengun's been out of the game for 15 minutes now. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And there's plays. I mean, the overplaying. You don't have to play everybody on your damn roster, but you see the growth of the players. You see the want of the players. He has everybody's ear. When he says something, they listen. You don't have this like in the Phoenix where the coach and the player are arguing with each other, cussing each other out on the bench and shit. Like you see the respect level there and the growth level there. Now, mindful Houston, these are still 19, 20-year-old kids, grown men that are learning a grown man's game against, you have them going up against yesterday, the best team in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
A duo that's been together, that has been through the finals and lost it and everything else. A defensive player of the year. You have Al Horford is a veteran. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
It's the team that was pretty much where we were like 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like you have to fucking wait and get there,
Yeah.
But do you think that you fired Silas, or do you think that team needs like somebody else more offensive knowledgeable to come in and help?
I think you do.
I only ask that because I know just because I played on a bunch of teams in my life, it's different to play for somebody different.
Yeah.
So like if you have a group of young boys who are on the upward, I don't want to just come bring somebody in and be like, new coach, new system, new everything, new personality,
Yeah. I feel the way that the games have been going, everybody's figuring out what they're good at and how it fits with the team. I feel they're finally buying into, I guess, his philosophy, Silas's philosophy a bit. I do feel that you need to get the pieces in order of who you're going to play and stick with that, of stop playing everybody. Get Gordon gone, get Garrison Matthews gone. Tate, I don't really see a spot for you either. Like, get him gone and figure out, okay, this is what we're going with. This is what we're going to run for the year, and then see what you have. Because Ty, even if you play Ty as your second backup, you can go get a veteran to come in or do anything you want. But I feel if you have I do feel if you're going to get a veteran, you have Boban as, like we say, as that kind of bench coach. Get somebody that's going to be a coach out there also. Like, if Ty,
but I don't need you to coach. Like, when I say coach, it doesn't necessarily have to be like on the floor playing coach. But like if he sees something like, hey, quit doing this. When you're in practice, don't do this, or you should be trying to do this. Hit the screen this way, or fight through your picks this way, or whatever. And that's the shit that'll help.
Yeah. No, I think that's Yeah.
Because like we talked about it, like a player like Rubio would help, or maybe like a Goran Dragic, but also like they want to play. But if you bring in a point guard who's a little sorrier, who knows a shit ton, it's like, hey, like I'll teach in the practice and on the bench just to keep a job in the league,
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel there's some trades coming up. What trade deadlines? I think in February. So
Yeah.
you'll start seeing the tires roll in 2023.
Here's one question I got about the Rockets, and this is
Yeah.
going to be tough to ask considering he just had a couple really good games. How close do you think Alperen Sengun is to his ceiling?
Ooh.
Because he was MVP of an overseas league. Like he's like Luka. He had a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But then it's like you haven't got better at defense. You got a little bit better at cleaning up your post last year, but not much since. So it makes me, and you absolutely refuse to shoot the three. So it means you're not working on a jump shot. So I'm wondering, is like, how close to your ceiling are you? And if I feel like you're really close to it, I might trade you.
I feel like I'm seeing a more polished Luis Scola.
This is how fucked up me and my brother argue about this all the time. He feels the same way as you, like Scola. Yeah. But when I look at him, I fucking see Enes Kanter, bro. It's like you're really good at getting offensive rebounds and putbacks, and within 5 to 7 feet from the bucket, you could score on fucking anybody. But that's the extent of your game.
Yeah, I guess for me, these past 3 games, I've seen him play different. Now, when his dad leaves back to Turkey and is not watching him, I want to see how you play.
That was my point. Is like if we would have had this conversation a week ago, it'd have been different. But he just balled the fuck out in Chicago,
Yeah, like beforehand, I could see where, though, not even being angry, I can see where it's like I did see his numbers for his first 100 games, and for a person that's playing under, I believe, 24 minutes most of his time, he's dominating the floor. So
now, if he's the kind of player who could be put on a bench as the 6th man or 7th man and really be the best player on that second unit and not bitch about it, I'll keep you forever. But if I end up doing, it's just because you're not a center, bro. You're not. Our problems come from the fact that you can't. We played Dallas the other day. Luka ate your bitch ass up in the pick and roll. Like he wanted the high pick and roll, looking for you, and he scored on you. That's how they won. Yep. So if you're in Jabari's spot, either I don't know what to do. Do you put Jabari at the 3?
I honestly feel you're gonna have to put Kevin Porter point guard, Jalen Green shooting guard, Jabari 3, Sengun 4, and then you need a center.
That's my point. And then it's like, God, but what do you do if you get Victor?
You're center. I don't know. Like I don't know, because the odds are right now you're in the Victor trade thing. I mean, you're in the
sweepstakes.
Yeah, you're in the sweepstakes. You're ranked 3rd right now, but you're in there. So if you get him, I mean, if you get him, then you start like, all right, good. I love you, bro, but unless you want to be a backup, I'm gonna have to call it out because I got this.
That's my point. If I could get a really good couple players for you, I mean, Scoop might throw a wrinkle in it too because
he is. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no matter what, you're gonna piss somebody off on our team.
Yeah,
and I think that Victor would piss less people off.
Oh, Victor, I would because he's up here. Everybody else, like, I could fit my game into.
I straight up would not be shocked if somehow or another the Rockets pull off a trade where you get a superstar like next season. Like
I'm not either. The way Raphael works, he's very quiet. You don't really hear him in the media talking about what he's after and what he's doing. He's very like silent assassin. Like one random day you just hear, "Oh, Rockets traded this for that," and it's like cool.
Well, just think about it. If say you got like Sengun, you got Gordon, Matthews, KJ Martin, Jayshawn Tate, like that shit will yield you a good ass player.
Oh yeah, you got talent. You still got a bunch of picks. I mean, even though I honestly think he's gonna end up trading at least 1 or 2 for some picks because like we talked about with those picks that we're going to be missing in the couple years, I have a feeling one or two of them is going to – Eric Gordon's probably going to end up getting for a pick or something, unless the money's matching or something.
Like, just think about if you put like 2 or 3 of those players and like a pick or two players and be like, Jimmy Butler's – I'm going to go get Jimmy Butler to be my small forward now.
I mean, you get into the wheels of the rumor mill of now veterans wanting to come in to the beautiful thing about being a veteran in the NBA is you start to see these young talent players come up and see how that team's being built, and then you can be like, yeah, I'm gonna go join them. Like,
but I don't just want anybody.
Well,
like, to me, Jimmy Butler would be the perfect kind of player because he's selfless.
Yeah.
Like he may have 10 points and 5 assists and 5 rebounds, but he made 1,000 right plays.
Yeah, he was out there defending, out there being a dog and everything. Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, they're going to go after somebody. I mean, you have some quality players coming up for free agency, some quality players that are probably going to be on teams that blow up if they don't win it. Jimmy.
I mean, you can get Harden back from what I heard.
Well, yeah, Harden supposedly wants to come back. Him saying he doesn't want to come back, of course.
Fuck that.
I don't want him back. I like the young team we have. I don't need you coming in, messing it up and everything, bro.
I'll take Russell Westbrook back before I take fucking Harden back.
To me, it's like I get the nostalgia where like, but this is where I feel with Rockets fans. And I was arguing with them all week after it. They're like, oh, we need Harden back. That's how I know you have not watched a Rockets game since he left. If you are telling me I need him back. This dude is literally played us and then literally said, hey, yo, that dude Jalen Green is a dog out there, dog. Like, why the hell you need another person that ball hogs it worse than Jalen? Like, Jalen at least knows how to give the ball up at times. He probably throws it away too many times sometimes. But
yeah,
it's like I don't need that false thing. And Jalen actually tries on defense, bro. I don't need you.
I say this. How long did we have Harden?
We've had him since 20
like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, since 2011.
Name a motherfucking player a wing player that played with James Harden that got better. He doesn't make wings better. He makes bigs better who could pick and roll. We don't have that. So we don't need you, bro.
Bruno Fernandez. No, I was kidding. Yeah, no, I don't want him back. There was I don't know. Even for it, I feel like that's one of those ESPN rumors that they just throw out there.
I think his people started it because that team I think he realized that team's better without him too. It's like, it's almost like I see an AI trajectory for him. It's like you're best on the bench, but you don't want to do it. So you might as well just go. Yeah,
and I also think he's in a contract year, so it's one of those like I'm gonna try to weasel more money out while I can because lay the seeds in there. And I mean it's smart from his business standpoint of it, and then just knock it down. But I mean Daryl Morey, you never know, he may just throw the kitchen sink at his boy and
go for it.
Yeah,
fucking go for it.
I'm good with where the Rockets are at. Raphael, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Just make some trades so I have some breaking news to talk about, and we can make.
But not Rudy Gobert like trades. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, not that shit. Not that shit. Make some, and maybe that's why we're waiting on a trade to redo the market. Like we talked about in an NBA video. Maybe that's why the market's just so weirded out right now from that trade.
But like, if you look at baseball, that's what's happening with Correa. The league is using him as an example. It's like, okay, this is how we stop giving people all that money.
Well, they did tell New York. They said with Correa going forward, if you advertise it that you're signing them, they're going to hold you obligated to sign him. And sure enough, they went out and Steve Cohen, oh yeah, we signed Correa, and then they're like, oh no, we don't have them leave. Like, nah, fam, you said it.
Said it.
So enjoy the money, and I'm sure he has enough money he can just probably eat the crow, but. It's just like you as a league, you have to balance it out. And I mean, we've seen it before with big threes in the NBA, and and all that stuff. So
I think it's tougher in the NBA because there's less players.
yeah,
And then like, who's desperate enough to trade somebody like for on the cheap? It would literally have to be like the Bulls trade Levine for nobody, or like the Timberwolves need to recoup money, so they trade Cat for little.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really see. I mean, once the first domino falls of us or somebody else, then it's gonna happen.
But we're in the best position, bro, because you have everything at you have money, you have picks, you have a pretty good young group, and you're probably gonna have a top 5 pick again.
It's looking up, Rockets fans.
And you have a bunch of people to trade, so you just have to figure out what you want.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, yeah, you got a bunch of stuff looking up rather than looking down, and you're looking at a league that's getting older, and a lot of those older teams are starting to slowly move down while these younger teams are slowly on the rise up. So I'm cool with
It's
it.
almost that shit that makes me like, if you just say you get a good player in the draft, just say you get one of the Thompson twins, right? And then you have all this logjam of talent. You're like, well, we don't know what the fuck to do. I would aggressively go after a player like the Joker. It's like, I'll give you 4 picks and a couple players for that fool. Because could you imagine Jalen playing off of the Joker?
Disgusting. That would be beautiful, though. I mean, you have Raphael Stone. Ain't nothing I'm not gonna question you on shit, bro. Like
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. You haven't faulted me yet. Like, you got a lot to play with. So
well, he did like Caserio. He got rid of fucking Harden at the perfect time. He's like, oh, you want to do what? You want to leave? All right, let me help you. Let me get rid of your dumb ass.
Oh man. Well, the year's coming to an end. We got a few more days to 2023. I guess, Zach, what was your biggest member?
Mine would have to be the sound of the bat when Jordan cranked that ball that's still in the air to win the World Series. Like, I'll always remember that.
Yeah. I think that's such an iconic, like, that's I felt when Astro fans knew, like, oh, this is ours.
Also, the Jeremy Pena 18 inning game, that home run, I'll remember that forever.
Yeah.
The World Series no hitter. I mean, who fucking could forget about that?
No, that was beautiful too.
Man. I mean, another good thing that happened, we got Jabari, and we wanted him the whole time.
Thank you. Basketball.
We got rid of Deshaun. We wanted that the whole time.
It's as much as the year looked bleak in the beginning, it kind of turned out pretty well. I mean, there's hope in the Texans. It looks like the Astros did their thing.
I mean, U of H made a push in the tourney last year as far as our talent could take us.
I mean, they're ranked 3rd right now.
Yeah, but even last year, everybody was hurt and they gave up on us, and we fucking went Final Four, you know?
Yeah, it's been I feel like for 2023, it's one of those things that there's more hope and light at the end of the tunnel for our sports than there is of questions like it was in the beginning of the year.
It's like we said earlier, can it just be about the sport?
Yeah, and I think that's what it should be.
Cut the bullshit out.
Yeah, I think at this point, that's what it just needs to be. Like, you don't really have it. Sadly, the only one that has it is pretty much the Texans still. But I kind of feel it's getting over. It's getting over now with Watson's bad play in Cleveland, and then
it's like you said earlier, though. Like, you had to get rid of the bullshit to start over.
Yeah, and they did it. They cut the cancers out. We got a few more. Bob Brandon Cooks.
I think we're gonna keep him.
They probably are after his last game.
I don't blame him though.
I mean,
he fucking caught an amazing touchdown and it didn't count, but he mauled somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you give me a quarterback, bro, I need somebody to throw the ball to.
I mean, we're gonna see. There's a lot more upside than downside. And
For sure.
I feel, and I mean, we're gonna see. But that being said, man, if y'all made it to this point, like, subscribe, follow us at the SOG Network on Facebook and YouTube for all stuff Houston sports. We got you. Have a great
Champs,
New Year's.
baby. Champs, baby.
Be safe. We out.
I shouldn't have did that.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.